Hi, my name is Becky. I work at Portrait Simple in the Natick Mall. I wanted to make this video to kind of expel some of the rumors that Lennon the Bunny has been sharing. I've actually been trying to comment on her page and reply to people who are concerned, but because I'm spreading the correct information instead of the fear-mongering misinformation, Lennon the Bunny has blocked me. I've emailed her, messaged her. She has no interest in the actual truth of how we care for the bunnies at Portrait Simple. So I wanted to make this video to kind of expel some of the rumors. First off, I'm just going to read off the post that I made today that's been flagged repeatedly because, again, I'm trying to actually tell people the truth about what's going on. Lennon the Bunny turned off comments for me. Turns out she blocked me and deleted my correct information along with many of the correct information from past employees who've been reaching out to Lennon the Bunny about how we actually care for the bunnies at Portrait Simple. And she did this because I actually know what I'm talking about. Lennon is just trying to rally up hatred to gain more followers and look for more likes on her page. She did it because I'm actually changing people's minds and trying to tell people the correct information about what's going on. So I ended up posting in the comments on my own page the correct way that we're taking care of the bunnies. And I am happy to respond to any comments on this video, answer the truth, quell some concerns, and actually share what's really going on at Portrait Simple. Now, I understand a lot of you, no matter what, are not going to be happy with the fact that we have bunnies in the studio. There's nothing I can do about that. But what I can assure you is that we are taking care of them properly. We are caring for them as if they are our own pets, because they are. For the time that they are at our studio, they are our pets. We take care of them. We love them, we hold them, we protect them, and we are not abusing them in any way at all. And anyone that has been commenting and ignoring everything I've been saying just because you believe we shouldn't have the bunnies at the studio, that's fine. There's nothing I can do to change your mind, and that is okay with me. But anyone that's been flagging our post, claiming it as misinformation, I'm just here to tell the truth. Please understand that the photos that you've been seeing were before we heard from the community and a day after when our Chewy order hasn't arrived yet. So everyone who's just been popping into the studios, taking a picture and then running away, hasn't been speaking to our staff at all. They're pretending to be heroes and champions of rabbits, and I understand that you want to speak for an animal that doesn't have a voice, but why don't you actually speak to the people who take care of these animals every day? So here's what I wrote. A heads up to get some questions answered for you before we even head in to the studio to ask people. The bunnies are let run around, now separately or under direct supervision of an employee because they're maturing and we want to avoid fighting and breeding. They're run for hours a day. The cages are where they sleep or rest in between playtime, cuddling with employees, and yes, being photographed for about 5 to 10 minutes a session. They have food and water in their cage with enough space to stretch out fully. Yes, the bottom is wire, but we give them fresh cardboard that covers half to 2/3 of the cage that we change out daily, if not more, to make sure that their feet aren't hurting and that they're not resting their pads on the wire. But the wire makes sure that the cages stay clean as much as possible. The litter underneath the cage where the fecal matter and urine goes is changed out a minimum of twice daily, and if it starts to smell, even more. We've listened to the community, and our order of fresh hay should have arrived this morning, and we will continue to be feeding them nonstop hay. Our water bottles, we now know, are not the correct way to give the bunnies water, and we're expecting to switch them out within the week, but that takes a little bit longer to arrive. So we're switching them out for ceramic bowls. We're still taking in information as to changing other things and best take care of them. As for their use in the camera room, they're brought out in the last 5 to 10 minutes of the session time. They are transported in a basket that we keep a stack of towels in so they're comfortable as they are carried across the studio. When they're brought out in the session, they're kept in the basket for the majority of the photo, if not for the entire session. The employees are in charge of their care and handling. They first show the children how they can best pet the bunnies, don't touch their face, leave their ears alone, no grabbing. Children who are frightened of the bunny are photographed from afar so they don't stress out the bunny. One of my favorite photos to do, by the way, is have kids hold a pole with a carrot on the end so that the kids have a distance from the bunny. And we photograph the bunny from a little bit closer to the camera, and the kids are about 4 or 5 feet from them. So it looks like they're fishing for a bunny, which is adorable. Another pose that we like to do is have the kids 4 or 5 feet from them and angle it so the kids end up inside the basket. They're not touching them at all. Sorry. Children who are frightened of the bunny are photographed from afar. Yes, same goes for toddlers or any children who is incapable of listening to instructions. Only children old enough to follow instructions are allowed to hold them, and even for that point, it's for seconds at a time. The employees pick them up and place them on their laps. The kids just pet them. The kids may not move them around. We even tell the kids that if the bunny wants to jump off, that's fine. These are all side comments for me. If the bunny decides to jump off their lap and run away, don't grab at them. And you know where they run to? The employees, because we're their safety net. And they understand us and they love us, and we make sure to snuggle them for weeks and weeks and hours so that they're happy. From the moment they arrive and throughout the season, we take in applications to adopt the bunnies. Our questionnaire is based on one by the local SPCA. It includes questions about who lives in the house, ages of children if there are any, prior experience with caring for the bunnies, if there are any other animals in the house, why do they want a bunny, and much more. The best candidates, of course, are the ones who do not have infants or toddlers in the home. No other pets to cause stress, and prior experience of bunny care. We receive tens of hundreds of applications at the studios every year, and we have never had to abandon a bunny. Often, many of the past adopters have been Portrait Simple employees who fell in love with them. Most of our managers have a Portrait Simple bunny. I myself was a bunny owner the first year that I was hired there. I adopted a bunny of my own that lived to the ripe old age of 8. We also keep all information on our past adopters. Legally, we are required to. I follow many of them on Instagram, and I even receive cards from their new owners years later. We make sure that when they leave the studio, that not only do they have a little starter kit of food and bedding, but also as much information as possible on their care. We show them how to pick up the bunnies, how to hold them so that they're not scared, how to make sure that they can be let go. We try and give them information on how to best litter train them. Ironically, we used to suggest Lennon's page. Aside from this, we also go above and beyond. They're thoroughly checked by a vet before they even arrive. Our entire routine with them had been approved by a vet before we even started. But obviously, the way that people care for bunnies has changed over the years. So we have been listening to everyone and actively trying to make sure that we can update our standards so that they are living the best lives they can. Sorry, they get thoroughly checked by a vet. They even get rabies shots. We have tags in the studio. And each studio gets a surprise inspection from the USDA to make sure they're cared for. We're not even required to get an inspection this year, but we still ask the USDA to come in. We keep a vet on call 24/7, and there are even different types of medication on hand should they need it. I cannot express enough how much our staff truly loves these animals and treats them with all the love in the world. We understand everyone's concerns, and we're doing our best to make sure that they are properly cared for. I've been reading everyone's comments, questions, and concerns. I've been hearing everyone's notes, suggestions for different kind of blankets that we can get. We know that we're going to be giving them alfalfa hay, not Timothy hay, because they are so young. We have all sorts of things that we are doing and changing because the community cares. I want you to know we're listening. But you also need to understand the impact of what Lennon has done to the people at our studios. We are getting nonstop phone calls. And you know what? Every person that's called my studio anyway and spoken to me has left happy. They've understood what we're actually doing instead of just reading fear-mongering on the internet. They're listening to us. The first time we received a call from Lennon, guess what? I'm the one who answered. And you know what she did? She threatened me. She screamed over every answer that I tried to give her, and then she threatened me. And I hung up because she threatened me. I've had many, many years of people being concerned about our bunnies because I have made sure that they are okay. We've never had an issue. We wouldn't be able to keep doing this if there's been any actual danger for these animals. You can see in the videos and live feeds that I've been posting that they're happy, they're binking, they're clicking their heels, they're flopping their ears around. When they rest in their cages, they're doing that long lounge where they're happy in laying. They come up to us and they give us kisses. They nudge us with their chins. They have lots of cardboard toys to play with, and we are constantly making sure they're okay. We're brushing them and clipping their nails. I can't emphasize enough how much I love these animals, and I make sure that they're taken care of. The employees in the meantime have been abused, harassed, threatened. It's a lot of mental anguish. And we know it comes from a place of caring. But there's only so much we can take. Please understand and believe when I tell you these animals are being taken care of. If you have any questions for me, please comment. I will happily answer every one until, of course, I guess someone flags me and I get blocked again. But I just want it to be known that we actually care about them. I love these animals. They all have names. And yes, every studio treats them this way, with the same amount of care and attention, love and affection, time to play, stretch, and exercise. We have an entire guide before the season even begins about how to care for the bunnies, including bunny language. What does it mean when they're laying out? What does it mean when they're nudging you? What does it mean when they're grinding their teeth? We understand all of it. And I just want the truth to be out there. Thank you.